Hannah, goodness me, Kate and I just watching that sort of with our mouths open. It's an extraordinary story. How are you feeling now? What's your health like at the moment?
I'm not back to great health. I'm on my dialysis 3 times a week. That's 4 hours at a time. And that's, you feel a bit not too great after that. Other than that, I'm getting back to how it was. Gone back to work 2 days a week. I'm waiting for it to get magnifiers to help me there.
Yeah. And how is your eyesight as well?
My eyesight, I've regained slightly a little bit from what I had. It was totally black. I've came out at 10% in my right eye. My left eye's not great.
It's an extraordinary thing to go through, because I, like many other people, have been to these resorts with my friends over the years and experienced that sort of thing. I've even filmed on them with holiday programmes as well. You were sort of very unsuspecting, went on an organised trip, an organised pub crawl, and ended up in this sort of situation. When did you first realise something was wrong?
I started feeling unwell the afternoon after the night I drank it, which is when I went to sleep. And I just remember never being so tired in my life. Couldn't keep my eyes open.
But maybe you also thought, well, I had a late night.
Yeah,
you wouldn't necessarily assume, would you?
The heat might have took it out of me, so I just thought I'll have a sleep. And I just ended up sleeping 26 hours.
And then when you woke up, what happened?
I was blind. I didn't realise at the time. I thought we had the curtains shut. Once I realised they were open, and that was scary. So
you open your eyes, and you still think
I just
the curtains up because it was so dark?
Yeah, we had blackout curtains, so we were just sat talking. Suggested we open them, they were already open. That's when we realised, which was really scary. Went straight to the doctors for that.
And how did you find out that this had been laced with, was it methanol?
Yeah. Well, we went to a hospital on the island who did all the tests, and they found out it was methanol, so they treat you with ethanol to try and reverse it. But
it's an extraordinary thing, Derek, to go through from Hannah's perspective, but from a parent's perspective as well. When you got a phone call saying Hannah's not feeling very well, what were you and Christine thinking?
Yeah, we were devastated. We got the first flight out there that we could get, and when we got to Zante, the reps gave us a piece of paper and basically said she's in that hospital. There's a taxi rank outside, which we got the taxi to the hospital, only to find when we got there, Hannah had been moved to the mainland hospital, which is unbelievable. We then had to get a taxi to the port, then a ferry to the mainland, then another taxi to the hospital. And then when we got there, after all that, it was...
And you're just desperate to see your daughter at this point,
yes,
aren't you?
we were.
Give her a hug.
And then to see her laid in the hospital bed blind was...
terrifying.
You know, that's the lowest we've ever felt, yeah.
Hilary, it's the dread, isn't it, of a parent? You're letting their youngster go off and have fun. You dread what they get up to, but I don't suppose anyone suspects, either the young party girl or the parents, that you're going to have a drink laced with poison in this way.
Absolutely.
I mean, have you encountered this before?
It's been a problem in Indonesia for some years. There have been about 280 people who've lost their lives to methanol poisoning there, but it's happening in the Mediterranean countries as well now. We're not talking about a large number of people there, but it's growing. And this could happen to anybody. This could happen to tens of thousands of individuals through no fault of their own. Methanol is a very powerful toxin. It's wood alcohol.
So it's not that someone's deliberately poisoning?
Oh, yes, they are. They're diluting the alcohol to make it cheaper.
For make it cheaper?
Absolutely, to
knowing
make it cheaper.
The consequences, you believe?
Yeah. And therefore, you've got to be really, really careful. So, you know, what I would say to people is, because everybody's vulnerable, there are some tips that I would give to try and make things safer. First of all, go for known brands. If you're going for known brands, you're less likely to be given something that could have been doctored. Even then, look at the labels. Labels can be forged. Is the label dodgy? Is there misspelling? Is the seal broken? Don't go for local substitutes, which are much cheaper. If it seems to be too cheap to be true, it probably is. So be careful. Don't buy from vendors who don't have a licence to sell alcohol, market stalls, that sort of thing. And be aware of the symptoms. The symptoms can come on much later than the drinking, so 6 to 24 hours, even later. And actually, the symptoms come on later if you've been drinking alcohol, normal alcohol, with methanol. I'm talking about, you know, 10 mils of methanol can cause permanent blindness. 10 mils.
God.
30 mils can be fatal.
The horrible thing there, though, is this was an organised tour by a reputable company. So presumably they didn't know either. I mean, that's it's hard to know what to do, really, isn't
It's really difficult unless you're pouring the drink yourself, unless you're watching what's being poured, looking at the bottle. You know, there's a potential risk. And as I say, only small amounts can cause permanent blindness. I mean, Hannah's got 10% vision. She struggles to see what's going on the TV. She can hardly read. She's on dialysis. She's waiting for a kidney transplant. This is a major, significant concern.